Hello, Teacher Forum. I'm coming to you today via video for two reasons. Number one, to make better use of our time. I know there's a lot of information I need to give you, and I want to try to give this to you before our first meeting. And the second reason I want to give this to you via video is because if I were to give this in a long email, let's be honest, if you're like me, I probably wouldn't read it in depth. I would be more likely to watch a video. And so that's why I created this, so that you can watch this prior to our meeting and that you are informed of what's going to be happening. A lot of what I'm going to be sharing in this presentation, this video, is what I shared back in May, the last year, the end of the year Teacher Forum. Many of you were there, and this is also for those who were unable to be there. And so I want to share with you our vision, or what's going to be happening this year in Teacher Forum. On that first day, we're going to be dividing up into three groups, and I just want to go into detail about what each of these three groups are. As I shared back in May, we had last year 4 groups that were working groups, that made us a working forum, and I want to continue that. And instead of 4 groups, I want to break us down into 3 groups, very similar to last year, but with a little bit of tweaking. And so my 3 groups, I'll start with the letter C, and here they are. We're going to celebrate this year, we're going to communicate, and we're going to collaborate. And each one of these groups is going to be divided into subgroups. And so on that first day, or right now, you can go ahead and start deciding which group do you want to be a part of. And with this group, as I said, we'll be divided into subgroups. And I'm going to explain through this what each group will be, the job description of what you're going to be working on. Throughout these meetings, we'll start out with celebrating teachers, as I've mentioned before. We're going to celebrate teachers in our buildings. We're going to work together. We're going to collaborate within our groups, and then we're going to share in an interesting way. I'll share that with you in a little bit, but we're going to communicate with each other what we're learning in our groups. So to get us started, what we're going to do is we're going to celebrate this year 2 particular groups. We're going to celebrate teachers, and we're going to celebrate students. At the beginning of each forum, we're going to celebrate anywhere from 8 to 10 teachers, depending on the availability of these teachers. These are teachers that don't necessarily get a lot of recognition. Not that they do what they do to receive it, but what they do is amazing, and what they do is making a difference in the lives of our students and making a difference in our schools. And I think coming from Teachers of the Year, this recognition by a peer goes a long way. And so we want to recognize teachers. And so if you are interested in helping find those teachers and find out what's going on, this will be a group that you will want to be a part of. The second one, of course, is recognizing students. That's why we're here. We're here to make a difference in the lives of these students. We're here to push them towards success. This also includes the Teacher Cadet Scholarship. This was started last year. If you remember Dollars for Scholars, teachers were able to wear jeans for $5, and we were able to raise, I think we raised about $2,800, which gave 2 scholarships, one to a teacher cadet at each high school, both Chesney and Bowling Springs, a teacher who was going into the teaching profession. And so this Teacher Cadet Scholarship came about of the group. I think it was the recruiting group, I think is what the name of the group was. But this is going to be the group, and if you were a part of that group last year, I'm going to ask that you hang out here again this year. This should be a lot easier because the application's already been created. We're going to look at what we already have. We're going to look at if there's any changes that need to be made, if we need to start the process a little sooner, what worked, what didn't work, what some changes can be made. And so that will be the Celebrate group. The second group will be the group that I'm going to call Communicate. Now this last year was our Inform group, and this group is involving education legislation. There's a lot of legislation out there that is being discussed at the General Assembly, and I'm attaching a copy of the State House report. This State House report has been created by the Palmetto State Teachers Association, and all of this on here are bills that are currently being discussed, and they'll be coming back up for discussion in January when the General Assembly decides to meet again. But specifically on this first meeting, if you want to be a part, if you're into legislation and government, this is the group for you, and we need your expertise on this. Especially this first group is the November election. There's two particular positions that are being elected. Governor, of course, is up for grabs again, as well as our state superintendent of education. And so what we need as a forum is to get the information to our teachers, not to promote any candidate, any particular candidate, but to give them the facts. What is out there? Which candidate or what these candidates believe. And then the second part B of Communicate, is how are we going to present it? How are we going to get this information to our teachers? A lot of information, whether it be people who are running for election or if these bills that are out there, how can we share them? If you're into doing presentations through Keynote or even a PowerPoint, if you like those ways of creating presentations, then this will be your group. And what these two groups will work on, one will be reading our State House report, and I'm giving this to everybody because there's a lot of information on here, but this group is going to be looking at this in depth. Now, I do want to focus everybody's attention on this, on the second page or the back page. This bill, House Bill 4419, you may remember this back from the spring. This was a bill that received a lot of attention from teachers, and it was received a lot of attention because it was not in the best interest of teachers and students in our state, and teachers spoke up. And that bill is on this State House report because it is evidence of what happens when teachers speak up, when teachers let their voice be heard. That bill is no longer active. It is considered dead. They adjourned debate on it, but it's there just to show you that teachers have a voice, and when we speak up, things can happen. But we're looking at, with the Communicate group, with legislation, is getting teachers to vote and finding ways to get them the information. Who are their legislators? Who's going to be in the election? Where can they get information? And I'll try to provide that information to you if you're in this group on that day, so that you can put that in some type of presentation. Our third group is the Collaborate group. Now, this group is still under construction, I guess you would say, as what is your job description. But I've created two subgroups. One is networking, and in this group, as teachers, we are always going to professional development, and our district spends a lot of money on it. A lot of you do your own professional development when you're at home, and if you are into finding new ideas for doing things in your classroom to make yourself a better teacher, to reach your students in a different level, then this is going to be your group. And what my idea with this one is that we have a lot of resources and a lot of ideas right in our own district. And I wonder if there's a way, and this is just my thought, is there a way that we can bring all these ideas together in our district? Because, let's say I'm a third grade teacher, which I am. Let's say I want to find out what Hendricks Elementary is doing to teach rocks and minerals. Is there a way that we can take these ideas, post them somewhere? I know we have curriculum writing teams. We have other avenues where we can learn from other teachers. But is there something like a Pinterest or a Teachers Pay Teachers, something that we can create just within our own district? Because our students are very similar in needs and are very similar in what we're learning. And so is there something that we can do, any type of technology or something, some type of forum where we can create this for teachers, where they can go and they can find ways to teach things? And so I call that networking. The second part is I'm calling it community. Now, there's going to be a specific thing that I want this group to do some research on, so I want you to bring your devices for this one. Is there a way that we can continue to build relationships with businesses? Many of you have connections that I'll never have, but you know of people, businesses, community members that we can also network with, we can collaborate with to come and be a partner with us. And so this is this is a working definition for this group. I also have an idea for collaborating, connecting with another teacher forum in Spartanburg County, or a few other Spartanburg County teacher forums, and that we can communicate different ways to see what they're doing. They get to see what we're doing, and so that is something with this Collaborate group. And then if you're one of these that likes to tweet, our hashtag we can use as D2 Teacher Forum, that you can share ideas, you can see what everybody's tweeting, see what people are saying. This is just an option if you're into this, and we can look and see what if there's something you like or something you learned from Teacher Forum, you can tweet it, Facebook it, using that hashtag, so that we can learn what you're learning and hear what you're doing. As we go back to at the end of each session, I want you to choose one person from each group, who will summarize what your group discussed and put it into a 1 to 2 minute video presentation. You'll have about 15-20 minutes to work, and then towards the end of that I'll ask you to select your person and send them out so that we can get a quick glimpse of what your group discussed, and then we'll put it into another presentation for the next teacher forum, for us to see what each group worked on. Again, to try to save as much time and make better use of our time. As well as, I know some of you have already mentioned to me that you're not going to be at a particular forum. This is a way that you can stay up to date by watching and hearing what everybody else has shared. And so I look forward to seeing you next week. If you have any questions, feel free to respond, and I look forward to seeing you then.